coming up?
That's a hard way to put it because
Why is that? That's an
honestly,
excellent question.
but because okay, in human history, it goes back to the statement I was making.
No, no, no,
Every
no.
time that
Don't go
every
back.
time
Let's
black
stay
people
right here and
fail,
deal with this
yeah,
first.
I am. Every
Are
time
you
black
saying
people
the
try
way
to
out? Are you saying the way out is for the other blacks to do exactly
the
what
way
you're
out is through
doing?
black, the way
Marcus,
out is through
Marcus,
black economics.
Marcus, are you
Yeah.
saying the way out for whites not to be supreme over the other blacks, to do what you're doing as a black person, work and provide for your family, and then the whites can't be supreme over you?
Yes, Jesse.
So the answer is get a job. Get a job.
No.
Marcus, a first-time call out of Tennessee. Marcus, thank you for calling. You're on the air, sir.
What's going on, Jesse?
All is well, Marcus. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I listen to your show. I don't agree with none of your viewpoints.
Not one?
Not one, brother.
And why not, Marcus?
Well, being an African-American male and a veteran, I just don't agree with anything you're saying.
Are you from Africa?
No.
I'm sorry?
No, I'm not.
Were you born here in America?
Yeah, but
Oh,
I have
why
African
you don't?
ancestry.
I'm sorry?
We both have African ancestry, Jesse.
You and who?
You.
Amazing. What does that have to
Isn't
do
that
with me? I was born in America.
Oh, okay.
So, Marcus, tell me one thing I've said that, and I appreciate your call. Tell me one thing that I've said that you don't agree with, that you disagree with.
Well, first of all, police officers make mistakes. I'm not going to necessarily say that what happened in South Bend, Indiana, was on purpose or whatever, but at the same time, racism does exist.
Where's your proof of that?
Discrimination.
Where's your proof?
Where's the proof? I mean, discrimination exists.
You're right about discrimination. Is that wrong? Is discrimination wrong?
Of course.
Do you discriminate?
No.
You never discriminate.
No.
Are you a Christian?
No.
You're not a Christian?
No. No.
So are you an atheist?
No.
Do you believe in God?
Yeah.
You believe in God?
Yeah. I believe in a higher power.
And who is that higher power?
That's a hard answer.
So if you don't know who he is, how do you believe in something you don't even know who he is?
Well, I can't say who he is as far as like personally in a sense of like, hey, God is this man or this, whatever. But that's a conversation for another day.
Why is that
All
a
I'm
conversation for another day? You believe in a higher power that you don't know who it is. You can't describe it, but and you're not a Christian. Why is the higher power?
Can you describe God?
Uh-huh.
Can you describe God?
I can.
Okay. Well, anyway.
And so you're not a Christian, but you believe in a higher power that you cannot define. And so I got to ask you again, do you discriminate?
No.
You're discriminating against Christianity.
Calling it well, what I mean...
So you're not being honest. You're not being honest, so you're discriminating against the truth.
Hey, you're a funny guy, man. You are a funny guy. I bet you were in debate class back in school.
No.
No, you weren't?
No.
Oh, but how can you sit up here
but
and say...
No. Let's go back to you. You said you do not discriminate, right?
No, I don't.
And I just said, aren't you discriminating against Christianity?
Well, you're right. I do discriminate. I discriminate against false gods and false beliefs.
So are you wrong for discriminating? So are you wrong for this? Are you wrong for discriminating?
No.
Then so discrimination is not.
Actually, I am.
So discrimination is not wrong then.
I'm wrong for discriminating. You're right. I'm wrong.
So why are you doing it, and why are you calling someone else wrong when you're wrong?
We're all in a fallen state, Jesse.
Good way out. Good way out, Marcus. Go ahead.
No, but what you're saying about blacks is totally false, man.
What am I saying about them that's false? What am I saying? That's false. And not all, but most. What am I saying that's false?
No. Well, basically, your viewpoints on why don't blacks do this and why don't they do that, and
what did I say that was wrong about that?
Well, specifically, you were saying how come black people aren't facing the issues of abortion or black-on-black crime, which was created by systematic racism, because when you put people in low-income environments that's filled with you were about to say who?
No, just filled with what? I'll let you finish the point first, then I'll ask.
Oh, okay. Well, basically, when you put people in low-income environments that don't have any opportunities or any outlets for children like they used to back in the day, because that's one of the arguments that you said, well, how come in my day they didn't do this and do that? Y'all had more outlets, and y'all actually had ownership of things. If you look at most black communities in America, black people do not own any industries, and whose fault is that?
Who put them there, Marcus?
Christopher Columbus and the rest of the pilgrims that
they put the blacks in poverty in quote unquote low income areas, and they don't have a way out. Those people put the blacks there.
After slavery and after.
Christopher, did you say Christopher Columbus did? Columbia did?
That was a joke.
Oh,
that was a joke.
Okay. So who put the blacks there?
The United States of America did.
So other black people put them there?
No.
Who when you say the United States of America, who are you referring to?
I'm talking about white people after slavery.
So the white people put them there after slavery?
Yes.
Why didn't we end up there then?
Why didn't who end up there?
The blacks, when I was growing up, blacks were not in so-called low income and carrying on like that. Why is it that it was not happening when I was growing up?
Because most around your time period, most of the blacks went up north for better opportunities, like in cities like Detroit and stuff. And
so I lived in Alabama under the Jim Crow laws. Why didn't you see it then?
Why didn't you see it then in Alabama?
Yeah.
Well, weren't people getting lynched and beaten in Alabama?
No.
That's a lie.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Now you're the one.
You talking about the so-called, I guess, the civil rights, so-called civil rights, when they were breaking the laws and stuff like that, and the cops had to stop them?
You said they were breaking the laws.
So let me ask you this, Marcus, because of time.
Okay.
If black people got married, set a good example for their children, provided, would they be in those communities today?
Black people are doing that today.
No, would they be in those? Answer that question. Would they be in those communities?
Yes, because of something called systematic racism. Jeff.
So then, why weren't they living that way when I was growing up? I'm asking again because during those days, black people got married, they provided, they bought land. They were not living in those type of situations because they believed in God. They had character. No. Why didn't we see worse times back then than we see today?
Because every time that black people had established communities such as Tulsa, Oklahoma, and other places throughout.
You guys are reading the same false history.
No, you're reading false history, and you're basically speaking white supremacist viewpoints, man.
What's white supremacist?
You don't know what a white supremacist is? Oh.
What is that? What is that?
You should. White supremacist is Donald Trump.
So you mean that white people are smarter than blacks?
No.
Why you call them supremacists? You calling them supreme over you. Why are you doing that if you don't believe that?
I didn't say that they're supreme.
You did. You call them white supremacists. You're saying that white people are supreme over you.
I'm not saying that they are supreme over me, per se. Or
are you black?
Black people, but
are you black?
Yes.
Are you black?
Of course.
You black. You black. So why are they supreme over you? How are you different than the rest of the blacks that they are not supreme over you?
The reason why I said white supremacy.
No. Answer that question first. Why are they not supreme over you? You black. What are you doing that the rest of the blacks are not doing to prevent whites from being supreme over them?
I'm working and providing for my family.
So if black people were to, the other blacks who whites are supreme over, if they were working to provide for their families, would whites be supreme over them?
That's oh my goodness. That's a foolish statement because black people are.
Your statement is foolish, or my question is foolish?
Both.
Your statement was foolish?
No, your question is foolish.
So you said that it's not they're not supreme over you because you're working and providing for your family, and you black, he black. And so I asked, if other black people were to work and provide for their families, would white people be supreme over them too? Still?
Well, we can ask all the victims.
No. You can answer that for me. If black people work and provided for themselves, for their families, would white people be supreme over them? You got away from it. You said they're not supreme over you. If blacks did the same thing, other blacks, would white people be supreme over them?
Well, that's a hard way to put it because.
Why is that? That's an excellent question.
But because in human history, it goes back to the statement I was making.
No. Don't go back. Let's stay right here and deal with this first.
Yeah, I am.
Are you saying the way out? Are you saying the way out is for the other blacks to do exactly what you're doing? Marcus, are you saying the way out for whites not to be supreme over the other blacks, to do what you're doing as a black person, work and provide for your family, and then the whites can't be supreme over you?
No, that's not the way out because.
But how did you get out then? You said that they're not supreme over you because you work and take care of your family.
Well, I was just bringing up examples of what I do as a American citizen and what I do as a person. But
and that means that the whites are not supreme over you then, right?
Yes.
And so if other blacks did the same thing, then whites wouldn't be supreme over them either, right?
Jesse, but you do realize that
No. Answer that question first. Answer that question first. Then, before you move on, answer that question. So, because I have a lot of black people who listen, they need to know how to get out from under the supremacy of white people. So you're saying to the other blacks, if y'all work like you, Marcus, you black, and provide for your family, then white people would not be supreme over them, right?
Yes, Jesse.
So the answer is get a job. Get a job.
No. You have to.
You said the way out is a job. Work and provide for your family.
No, the way. No, that's not the way out because how is having ownership of small businesses and investing in a different things.
Is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the answer for other black people there, right? To work, own, small business, spend your money, and then the white people can't control you, right?
But listen, Jesse.
No. Right, Marcus?
The sad fact is, even when we've done that in the past.
When did we done that?
We're doing that now.
When did we done that?
You are funny. When we've done things like that in the past, there has always been situations like what just happened in Indiana.
Did that happen to you?
No.
So, it didn't happen to you. You don't know if this man had a job or a business or anything.
No, but listen.
So you're making up stuff right now.
Listen. No. Listen, I experienced discrimination plenty of times.
Have you discriminated against anybody?
No.
You said you discriminate.
I'm just playing. listen, everybody discriminates.
Right. So, is it wrong to discriminate?
I experienced racial discrimination.
Is it wrong to discriminate?
When I was in the Navy, we got treated better overseas than we did when we
Marcus,
came back home from people.
Have you discriminated against other races?
No.
So you hire everybody that come to your business looking for a job. You hired them.
My wife has her own business. I don't per se have my own business. I invest in other businesses.
So your wife have a business, you don't?
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
That's discrimination.
How?
Is your wife black or white?
She's black.
So does your wife hire everybody that comes into her business looking for a job?
No.
Is that discrimination?
No.
That's not discrimination?
No.
Why not?
It's just not.
So she's not. She by your wife turning away some people, she's not discriminating against them.
No, Jesse.
What do you call that?
I call that not the right fit.
So when white people turn away some people from their businesses, what do you call that?
Hey, it depends on the situation.
When white people turn away some people from their businesses, not hire them, what do you call that?
It's not the right fit.
Okay, so it's not wrong then, right?
Yeah, it's not wrong. But listen,
I rest my case.
No.
I rest my case.
All I'm
Your
saying
Honor, I rest
that.
my case.
I'm not saying that every white person in America is, a racist, because there has been white people that have tried to fight for, black people's oppression and things of that nature. But all I'm saying is we don't ignore the fact that there is systematic racism going on.
Where is it? Where is it? Where is it?
It's everywhere.
Where is it? Where?
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 Okay, look at cities like Detroit. Look at Chicago.
What about Detroit?
Baltimore.
What about Detroit?
Look at all these major black metropolitans, and why is it that no black people own now 1% of any of the?
Because when the black people were running those cities, they stole from the people. They lied to them. They took their money. They've screwed up the city.
That's not true.
That is true. Remember the mayor of Detroit? What's that mayor's name? He went to prison or something. Remember that black fat guy? Young fat guy? What's it? It's almost on my tongue. He was black. He went to jail. And there are other black people out of Detroit that were running Detroit, went to jail. Is that so? What do you guys say about that?
I mean, that's that guy.
There were more than just one. There were other officials out of Detroit went to jail for screwing the people. Do you blame that on white? Do you blame that on white people? You blame that on white people?
Of course not.
Who fault is that?
That's a mistake. That's a mistake.
Oh, that's a mistake.
Yeah, that's a mistake.
Is that racism because those black people were using other black people in Detroit? Is that racism?
No.
So how come when black people screw other black people, it's not racism? But if white people screw white people, black people, it's racism?
Jesse, that's because it's two different...
Marcus, you're not thinking these things through. You're brainwashed. You're nice.
I just woke up.
You're nice, but you're not thinking things through.
Okay, well, like I was saying...
Matter of fact, that guy name is Kilpatrick.
Oh, okay. I know who you're talking about.
I know you do. You ain't that crazy.
Yeah. all I'm saying is
what it is, you don't want to be honest. You don't want to face the truth.
No.
That black people need to take back their own lives from other blacks, some so-called black leaders, stop the crap about the past, which doesn't exist anymore, and do the right thing. And let's not even mention Baltimore. Everybody got screwed in Baltimore by the black folks.
Listen, you make some true statements, and that's true.
Why don't you face the truth, Marcus, so you can be of help to these folks?